Hayhoe. There's our co-host, Tom Kelly. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what if Christopher Nolan directed Back to the Future? What if David Fincher directed Jurassic Park? We're doing a fun director swap episode, plus the 3 to 5 most influenced directors that I have had as influences. For me as a director, I'm wearing my director glasses. Did I buy these for $5 on Amazon? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. All right, guys, hang tight. It is movie night. Come in, say hi. Don't be shy.
It's movie night, baby. 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 Watch a movie and we talk about it. Then we talk about it on the show. Watch a movie and we talk about it. Then we talk about it on the show. Movie night. Movie night, baby. 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 Hey ho, and I guessed what to do. Oh, movie night on YouTube. Hey ho, and I guessed what to do. Oh, movie night on YouTube. Movie night, baby. 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 It's movie night, baby. It's movie night, baby. 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 Movie night, baby.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Hello, we are back. It is movie night, baby. It is movie night. Yes, these are not Dollar Tree glasses, Trevor. These are these are very prescription, except not. Yeah, Amazon, $5. So not Dollar Tree, maybe Five Below glasses. Could qualify. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just wearing them. They're also blue light glasses, so it helps with looking at monitors all day, which is what I do. I think Tom does a lot of that too, right, Tom?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Front door.
Uh-oh, he's got someone on his front door. Uh-oh. So tonight we've got a really fun topic. What if a different director directed a classic film? That is a very good topic that Tom thought of. And well done, Tom. Well done. So first off we'll talk about Christopher Nolan. If Christopher Nolan directed Back to the Future, how different would that be? That I now I have a feeling my inclinations. What do you think your inclination would be if Christopher Nolan directed Back to the Future?
It would be a much deeper film.
But would it be as good? Is the question.
Would it be as good? It would be a good film, but it wouldn't be the same film because Marty would, when he went back in time, well, first of all, there would be 4 Martys.
Right, of course.
Okay. There would be multiple Martys, and only one of them would be the right Marty, but between the 4 of them, none of them know which one could be the right Marty. So they're all protecting each other, but at the same time, they know that all 4 cannot survive.
Right. And then also there's a really great YouTube clip that it goes every Christopher Nolan movie ever. And it's like, we need to get the thing in order to the thing. But there's a twist.
Right.
I thought he was dead. Well, he is dead. Well, he was dead, but now he's not dead. He's back. He's alive.
That's
And
what I'm
it,
saying.
yeah, and I think
He's-
the humor would be sucked out of it. To be
Yeah,
honest,
no,
you
yeah.
know,
Christopher Nolan's a lot of things. He's not a funny guy.
no, no,
Sorry. That
no.
yeah,
He's yeah. There's like a little humor in The Dark Knight when he goes, "I'm not wearing hockey pants." You know, like that's about as humorous as you get
yeah,
with Christopher Nolan.
it's just not his thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. I believe that's what makes a great film a classic film is if there's humor that's installed into it. Because Back to the Future without humor would be a very different film. It would be serious, yeah, it would be good, but would it be as big as it was today? I don't think so. It would not be lightning in a bottle as what it was. It would
Well,
be
and
an interesting film.
yeah, the flux capacitor wouldn't run on plutonium. It would use plutonium in guilt. Some emotion that would be required to keep it powered, and the of course it would be a very thoughtful movie. He would when he was actually moving through time, he would come across a double event horizon,
Mm-hmm.
and the car would talk to him about whether or not they should cross both event horizons or just the one, and there would be a 4-minute discussion between the two, but the camera, it would be one shot all the way through.
Right. Right. Yeah, that would be. The more you describe it, it makes Back to the Future seem like a very, very dull, very dull movie. I mean, look, I liked Interstellar as much as the next guy, but there was so much in it that they tried to go so deep with it. The music is amazing. I love the music,
Oh, good.
and but it was so serious. And then when they went to the part where love is the most powerful thing in the world. I have to go across the galaxy to find my boyfriend. It's like, no, no. We
Yeah,
got Anthony Mack in the building. What up, Mac?
and
Mac,
and
Daddy.
that's why I'm saying, he would use it. He can't use love in every movie, so he'd use guilt or anger or something would be required to make the time machine actually work.
Yeah, it would be guilt. It would be love. It would be sacrifice. Name any one of those themes.
Yeah,
And
something.
okay, so the next one. By the way, later on in the show, we will be talking about the 3 to 5.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about
Yes.
that. I want to ask you some questions.
He's going to ask me the 3 to 5 most influential directors. Now, I did you one more. I have 3 to 5. I've got some honorable mentions that didn't make the
Okay.
top 5, and then I also have every single movie that most influenced me per director.
Ooh.
That's so that really made me, because it really made me think like, well, which of these, like, I know a lot of these directors influenced me, and then but which movies actually really influence, and that was really interesting
Yeah.
okay, so the next one you had was John Wick, directed by Wes Anderson.
Okay, this is where I really messed up in my notes earlier, because I wrote down when I was making my notes on this, I wrote down um Anderson. And when I started working on it,
Oh, did you
I
think
was
Paul
thinking
Thomas
Paul
Anderson?
Thomas Anderson.
Okay, that
So
makes a
at
lot
the end,
more sense.
I had lizards dropping from the sky, all this kind of stuff. And then, wait a minute, Wes Anderson, and this was like 10 minutes ago, so I had no way to go fix it. So I've got this great idea for Paul Thomas Anderson to direct. Um, and I was thinking The Matrix, not John Wick. So
Well, okay. Well, we could talk about Paul Thomas Anderson directing The Matrix. That would
there
be
you
really
go.
interesting. Yeah.
There you go. Because I went
We-
on that path. I'm sorry. I guess I just slept through, and I did nothing with the Wes Anderson John Wick storyline.
Yes. Yes. Oh wow, Alan! I didn't know you were a director. So those are your three most influential directors: Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and M. Night Shyamalan. I guess Alan is a director now. What movie are you gonna direct, Alan? Tell me. But so we have uh maybe he means his most or his favorite directors
Yeah,
or
that's
directors.
favorite.
You know,
Yeah,
there's favorite. Then there's influences where they. I'm a fan of a lot of directors, but I'm not necessarily going
yeah.
to.
No, the questions I want to ask you are about. Well, you want to jump there? Or you want to keep on the
No, let's
other?
keep on this list. Let's keep on this list. Okay,
All right.
but real quick, just to go back to the Wes Anderson. If Wes Anderson directed, what was it?
John Wick.
John Wick. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I'm not a big fan of John Wick, just because it's just too much gun violence. I know I sound like a square, and I am because I'm wearing
That's okay.
glasses from
That's
Amazon. But
okay.
the yeah, it's just too much. But Wes Anderson as well, I'm a fan of. But I realized something. Wes Anderson has literally made the same exact movie for every single one of his movies. Every single one of his movies is the same exact movie.
Okay.
And many times with the same exact actors as well. So they have the symmetrical shots, they've got the quirky humor, and that's the whole movie in a nutshell. And the dialogue is very similar always. The tone is the exact same with every single one of them. But again, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not bad. He's still a better than most director, and I will still watch Wes Anderson movies. But
Well, and it's important that I point out too that he was born right here in Houston, Texas. Thank you very much.
oh, there you go. There you go. Houston. Shout out to Houston.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it would be a very, very different movie. And it probably wouldn't have gun violence in it. I can't really remember any type of violence in Wes Anderson movies. I'm trying to think, unless it was someone getting bonked on the head or something to that effect. But yeah. Anyway, it would be interesting. You know, there is a viral video that it's if Star Wars was directed by Wes Anderson. Now that's pretty cool. It's an AI video. You guys should check that out after this, of course. But that's pretty funny. It's funny, but of course it would not. It would make Star Wars a complete joke, and we're not even talking about The Last Jedi. But but it would be interesting to see. But it makes it for a funny viral video, and it is good to think about a director's tone and can you really tell the tone of a director, because not all of them can you really tell. Like the next one you had.
There are some that you can definitely tell, and I thought about making it easy. So if I said, let me pick a movie that wouldn't make any sense for him to do. If I said, Michael Mann does Jumanji.
Yeah, so a lot of handheld shots.
You know,
Jumanji would be probably 3 hours.
It would be 3 hours, and there would be tension in every single scene. You never get a break with Michael Mann. There's never and then the character sat and had a cup of coffee and talked about, no,
right.
No.
It's kind of Michael Mann is pretty similar to Michael Bay in a lot of ways.
I see more like a Scott.
Tony Scott, I can see that. Definitely
Tony Scott, Michael Mann. There are times when I see some overlap there. But Michael Mann, he's just always, and by the way, it is mostly confirmed that they are going to make another Miami Vice movie.
Oh, right. And they're making a Heat 2 as well.
Yeah. This time they're going to have Michael B. Jordan is going to be Tubbs.
Really?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
So that's weird.
Yeah. What
I don't
about
know
Don
who.
Johnson? Is Don Johnson gonna be in there?
I
No.
don't know who's going to play Sonny Crockett, but
Oh.
yeah. But I know a lot of people didn't like The Last Send Up with Miami Vice. I enjoyed it myself. I'm sorry. You know.
Yeah, with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
And yeah.
I thought it was fun. That I was shocked how much it was panned and disliked.
Well,
Yeah.
critically, yeah. I mean, a movie like Miami Vice isn't really made for critics or film snobs.
No.
Really, it's made for an audience, and
Yeah.
especially movies like Miami Vice or Bad Boys, movies that are set in Miami and are fun, action packed.
Yeah.
It's not made. It's not
Yeah.
made for critics at all. Okay. So
Okay.
the next one we had on the
Yep.
list. Okay, now this is just we've almost already jumping the shark here. The Godfather, directed by Taika Waititi.
I'm sorry. That just seemed very, very funny to me.
It is funny. It is funny, and it's borderline wrong. and
Sacrilegious. Yeah.
sacrilegious. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No doubt. No doubt. Because if you're going to, if I said The Godfather directed by Martin Scorsese,
Oh yeah.
doesn't really change the movie that much. Maybe a little more cussing, a little more blood.
Yeah, a little more violence, a little more, a
Yeah,
little more
but
swearing.
yeah, but not really. It's not going to fundamentally change the movie. I was trying to come up with who would make this a completely different film than, and certainly, however you say his name. Well,
Taika
first of
Waititi.
all, he's off camera making voices, and being silly half the time, and the Don
Right.
says, "What have I ever done to make you treat me like?" And he's off the camera going, "Woo woo woo, woo woo woo." It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing where I've tried watching his movies, the Thor Ragnarok, obviously, or What We Do. I tried watching What We Do in the Shadows, which I really like that lead actor, Jermaine Clement. Not just because it sounds like, not
Yeah,
because it sounds like my name, but I think it's really funny. But I tried watching it, and it's really hard to make a mockumentary. And it's like, oh, it's a mockumentary, but it's zombies. Oh wow, what do you do?
yeah.
And then Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder. I mean, talk about jumping the shark.
So
I mean,
Thor: Love and
geez.
Thunder isn't is not only the worst Marvel movie ever made. I put it on my list of the top 10 worst movies, period, ever made.
I agree.
I
Yeah,
think it
I
was,
agree.
especially for a
Big budget movie.
huge budget. I
Yep.
mean, a rounding error in their budget is more money than you've ever spent and probably will for the next 10 years on a movie. And it was just, you might as well have just taken the money and thrown it in the ocean. I mean, it is
That would have been more entertaining,
horrible.
to be
It would
honest.
have been more entertaining just to watch
Yeah.
it. I mean,
And
it-
it's written by him and directed by him. So
and it is horrible.
it's
Horrible.
atrocious. The thing is what this is what's because he started out as an indie filmmaker making Eagle versus Shark, and then that got him a ton of notoriety. And he had the humor, and it was dry humor, but it had heart in it too. But then now, because now that he's so rich and so famous, it just seems like he's just making a mockery of anything and everything. And when you are directing a big budget movie like that, you have a responsibility to make a good movie and a fun movie, not just turn it
Absolutely.
into a complete joke and
Right.
trying to put himself in the movie. He put himself in as like two or
Look,
three different characters
that's
at
what
one
I'm
point.
saying. Oh, I'm gonna talk like this over here. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, look how funny I am. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, it's trying way too hard. It's
Yeah.
trying way too hard to be funny, and I'm not a big fan of him at all, actually. So
Well, and that's why I put the two together. Here's my favorite movie and one of my least favorite directors. He would have, it would not have been a good movie. I'll
No,
put it that way.
no, The Godfather.
Um,
It would have been a
it,
joke. It would have been a borderline parody movie, which dude, that Thor: Love and Thunder, it pretty much was a parody of itself. It was.
I
I'm watching
wish
this. I'm like, is this a parody movie? Is this an SNL
if,
sketch?
if it was a parody movie, I would give it credit.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
You know, because it was so bad, it was like a parody movie.
right.
I mean, even I can't even begin. Let's not go there. What's next on the
Okay.
list?
Okay, next one. Now this next one I am really stoked for, and I would watch this movie in a New York second. It would be Jurassic Park, directed by David Fincher.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's what I'm talking about. I think similar what you were saying, the similar style if Scorsese directed The Godfather, this would be similar too. Maybe slightly less humor, unfortunately, but it would still be very scary, be very thrilling, and very
And it'd
entertaining.
be very I think it would be more thought provoking. We
Mm.
would spend probably a little less time with the lizards and a little more time talking about the efficacy of the whole
Mhm.
thing and whether or not it was right and what are the long-term implications of bringing back dinosaurs, not just on what they might, they're going to squish humans, but was that an ethical thing to do, and have that discussion in much greater detail, because that's what interests Fincher, is getting down into how do you really feel about this, and having two characters who are passionate about their feelings, but on opposite sides.
Right.
And usually he has them either related or having been in a relationship or just getting into a relationship, so there's not an
or getting out
easy
of one, getting out of a relationship, or like in
there's
The
not
Social Network, right? In the beginning when they're having that conversation with his girlfriend, Jesse Eisenberg, or what's his
Mhm.
name? Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're having their conversation, and it's such an intense conversation. But you could tell he really, yeah. I mean, it's really well directed and has you it has you, it hooks you
yeah,
right away.
yeah.
It hooks you right away.
It's just, I got a lot of respect for Fincher. Um,
Same.
have him I don't know if you would agree with this or not. Uh, I think either he watches a lot of Soderbergh or Soderbergh watches a lot of Fincher,
Probably vice versa.
because I can see sometimes them doing some of the same kinds of things, just in the way that they'll pan and the way that they'll do things. Maybe I should go back and look. Maybe it's just the same DP on both movies or something. But
It
I
could
just,
be.
Soderbergh has kind of this, and so does Fincher. Their humor is very wry.
Mhm.
If you're not paying attention, you didn't realize that that guy just really got the best of the other guy in what he said, and well, of course that's true.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Unbiased anonymous
yeah.
sources say
Unbiased. Uh,
yes. Unbiased and anonymous say that is the best director. Tremaine Hayhoe. Still need to. You do need to see Social Network. It's a very good movie, and it's
and
loosely based on true events, right?
and
So
written, of course, by one of the world's greatest writers,
yes, absolutely. And
unfortunately.
I took his
Yeah,
master
we talked
class. I
about
told
that.
you about that. Yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah,
guys want to learn from a master, take their master class. Him
yeah.
and R.L. Stein are the two writing master
I
classes
took
that I.
also took the James Patterson class. Not
Oh,
near
really?
as it wasn't near as informative as some of the others. It was okay, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I wasn't, "Oh my gosh, I really feel like I'm," where Sorkin, not only I learned about I learned everything. I mean, just everything about building a story is there, where Patterson seemed more. about the business of books and more about the process of writing and not so much about the craft of writing. And I wanted to craft
Yeah.
because I mean the process differs from person to person.
Well, yeah, like for instance, R.L. Stein says he has an outline of every single scene or every single chapter in his book before that's
Yeah,
the first thing he does
I
is the
can't,
outline, right?
yeah, I can't do
And
that.
and then Stephen King says, "Oh, I don't outline anything. I just
Yeah,
write and I see where the story goes. I have
yeah,
no idea how it's going to end."
exactly,
Right?
and
So
that's
so
where
it,
I
it
go
it
after.
depends. Yeah, and like and for me, I a lot of times I know the ending before the beginning.
Sure.
And right, and the thing is the beginning and the ending, at least in my experience, are the two easiest things to do. It's the two easiest things to do
Yeah.
because you know it needs to start and you know it needs to finish. It needs to start strong, it needs to finish strong. But the middle is where it's really tough. You
Mhm.
gotta hook people, but you gotta keep them there
Right.
for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's the tough part.
Yeah.
Is this scene crucial? It might be a funny scene, it might be a cool scene, it might be suspenseful, but is it really necessary? Is it moving the story forward? Is there a purpose in it? If you look at a lot of the classic movies, every single line and every single scene has a purpose and
Yeah.
moves the story forward. And aside from other movies that are hangout movies, like Richard Linklater movies or something like that, where it's fun, you get absorbed into this world and it's set during a
Mhm.
period of time and you just hang out and you watch it and you have a good time. But if you're having a thriller or suspense, especially something like Jurassic Park, where you have to hook people and then go through philosophical questions and and
Mhm.
and then
So,
entertain the whole audience as well.
well, and I think Fincher could do it. It wouldn't be, I don't think, as attractive to the teenage boy crowd
No.
as Jurassic Park was when when it first came out. But at the same time, I think for anything it lost on that side, it would have added in the adult. Yeah, this is really worth thinking about crowd.
Right. It would have been probably would have been rated R. It would have had less it would have been less
Probably.
successful, most likely, but it would have still been a great movie.
Yeah.
I would like to see a rated R Jurassic Park movie directed by Fincher. I mean, that would
Yeah,
be
one of his think pieces that makes you walk out of the theater going, "Man, what if that happened?"
yeah.
You know?
Well, and the line from Jeff Goldblum,
Li life yeah,
we're thinking about no, he's like we were thinking about if we could, and we never stopped and thought about if we should,
right.
right?
And
It's
see,
like
that
that's
would have
that.
been it what I'm saying is, I think in a Fincher movie, that's not a throwaway line from him. That's 20, 30 minutes in the middle of the movie to have the whole discussion about should we and what does this say about us as
Mhm.
humans that we would even consider such a thing,
And
and
that, and we see this happening. I heard they're bringing the woolly mammoth back via cloning, which is crazy. Like frozen DNA, bringing it back. I mean,
yeah,
woolly mammoth is one thing, but still like dinosaurs and everything. Okay. All right. The next one
yeah.
is a very interesting one. Okay. Okay. All right. This will be very interesting. Okay. It's Titanic, directed by Quentin Tarantino.
So in my version of this, um, Jack is not kind of a freeloading, hey, let's go have fun in the world. I'm here to suck the marrow out of life. He's a grifter who is really there the whole time to get the necklace.
Hmm.
But you don't know
Yeah.
that till the end, that
Right.
was his plan all along, and that any romance, and there wouldn't be much, certainly no, scene in the car in the hold of the ship or something like that. No, no, and we're not drawing that picture. Um,
Right. Right. Well, it would probably be a more graphic picture, I guess, or
Yes. It-
right. And you're right. Jack would probably be a heist. Like he would probably rob everybody.
yeah, no,
In the
he's a
meantime.
pickpocket. He's,
Yeah.
and, and of course, Cal had his little henchman guy who was with him. Who I forget the name of that actor. Who is that? Do you know?
Cal, which one?
Okay, Cal was the rich, her fiance.
Oh, right.
Okay, and his
Billy
henchman,
Zane. Billy Zane.
right, Billy Zane,
Yeah.
but his henchman is the guy I'm talking about, who
Okay.
gets my vote for always playing a great bad guy. He was the bad guy in the original Tron. He was always,
Oh,
he's one of those guys that he walks on screen and you go, okay, well, he's the bad guy. He
right.
doesn't have to say a word. He's the bad guy. I know this. But of course, in a Quentin Tarantino movie, he would be replaced by a black guy, and Billy Zane's character would always refer to him by the N word, and he would be smarter than anybody else in the movie.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't know, the other characters wouldn't realize that.
Are you talking about Jonathan Hyde?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, because Jonathan Hyde. I think. Well, we'll show this. We'll throw this up real quick. I think this is who you're talking about. I don't know, but we'll see. Is this who you're talking about?
No.
No.
I don't think
Okay.
so. Is it?
All right, I'm gonna hide him.
No. That's the bad guy.
He's a bad guy in a lot of things, though.
Yeah, he is a bad guy. But let me.
Bill Paxton? No, not Bill Paxton. He's a good guy in the future. Well, you'll find it, but yeah, it would be, and there'd be a lot more explosions on the Titanic, probably. Right? It would be probably be a
Well, and we'd see a lot of body parts would be flying off all over the place.
Yeah, right. It would be a lot more graphic. It would have a lot more cussing in it, probably a lot less romance, like you were saying. It wouldn't be a Romeo and Juliet type. It would be Bonnie and Clyde type thing. Maybe he employs her to live a life of crime too, or something, right? Because she's rich and spoiled and has.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
absolutely, yeah. She would be fascinated about, what a bad guy he is, and he would be teaching her the ropes on how to be as bad as he is. But they're lovable,
Right.
they're fun, and they have great banter back and forth between the two of them in the QT movie. They're just always quit back and forth.
Yeah,
You can't even keep up with it sometimes.
Well, and there's probably going to be a monologue easily. There will be a monologue about being the life of a pickpocket and how she doesn't see how he lives and she doesn't understand, or talking about the times. It would be a long drawn out monologue at some point by Jack.
Right.
Right. Probably one by Rose as well. And then Rose at the end, I don't know, maybe Jack lives at the end and not Rose. I don't know. Right.
Well, no, he lives at the end, but he's got the necklace and she never sees him again.
Right. Yeah. He's in South America or something, living as a rich man. Okay. The next one. Are you looking for that?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out who he is.
Now this I wouldn't
Spicer.
really.
Okay, so in the show he was Spicer Lovejoy, but I don't have the actor's name.
Spicer Lovejoy. Oh yeah, that was him.
Was
I
it?
had it.
Okay.
Yeah, I had him. Jonathan Hyde. Yeah, Jonathan Hyde.
Those are just younger pictures.
Yeah.
Again, he
was the bad guy in Jumanji as well.
He's always the bad. I mean, and I think that's great. By the way, that guy made literally millions of dollars because he looked, he had the look. I have a resting bitch face. Okay, let's be real.
Well, and then when he has the mustache too, he just looks menacing, and he could be pompous, like the pompous British guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just already know right away. But the thing is, he's not a really name actor. Neither one of us could have thought of his name, but we all have
Oh,
seen him a million times and everything,
yeah.
right?
But
So
but
that
you never look at him and go, "Oh, he's the comic relief,"
right,
you
right.
know? Oh, by the way, that's the one thing, too, that I had in my notes that I forgot to mention. The captain of the Titanic would be played by a comedian that we haven't seen in the movies in a long time. I was thinking like Paul Reiser
Hmm.
would be
Who
Captain
is?
Smith.
I'm trying to
It
think of
it
who.
it would be somebody who is like, "Wow, I haven't seen him forever. Look at
Oh
that."
yeah, Paul Reiser. Yes, of
Yeah.
course, of
Okay,
course.
so he would be
Yes.
the captain, and, he'd be like, "A, we're gonna sink. 2, we're gonna, go down fast," and, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is what I do appreciate about Quentin Tarantino. He's known for resurrecting actors that might have
John
been.
Travolta's career was
He brought John Travolta
dead,
back. I know.
dead.
Yeah. And now I don't know where I mean, he's doing Capital One commercials. So he's doing well. He's making money,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
he's doing well.
yeah.
Okay. The next one, okay, so this one I can't have a comment on because I have not seen the original movie. I'm so sorry.
No.
And it's The Exorcist, directed by Steven Spielberg.
It's a different movie.
It's a very different movie,
It's a different movie.
I'm sure.
So, The Exorcist story, as I heard it,
Mm.
okay, was originally based on not a girl, but a boy from St. Louis who lived on what is now the campus of St. Louis University, which is a Jesuit school.
Oh, interesting.
And there is still, when you walk by this particular building, people point up at, because there's like a board or something over this window, and they say that's the room. That's where the real Exorcist took place.
So it was a real story.
This is what I learned growing up in St. Louis,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
and walking through campus when I was installing some of their computer systems, and people would point it out to me. And when you would walk by, people would be taking pictures of,
Really?
that's where it happened, right up there.
You know,
So,
I was speaking with Uncanny, and he was telling me that he needs to have me watch that movie because I went to a Jesuit school,
mhm.
um, and so did one of my favorite directors, which we'll get into in a minute. But the yeah, I would be curious to see. I can't. It's tough for me to watch those types of movies, but I have to be in a certain mindset, and I can't watch it by myself. Type
No,
thing. I'm not
don't watch
right.
Exorcist
I
by
will
yourself.
not.
Don't
Yeah,
watch it at night. Don't watch it by yourself.
well, I'll have to watch it at night. I mean, you got to do it right, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I won't. It won't be by myself.
yeah,
So,
don't have a
but
plan for the next day because you're not going to sleep well.
oh gosh, I know. Well, that's exactly why I haven't seen it. I've spent 39 years on this planet not watching it for that reason. So
But
that's why.
okay, so what if Spielberg's handed, well, in real life he gets
Well, he
handed
did
that script.
Poltergeist, right? Didn't he do Poltergeist?
This is where I was going.
Okay,
I
I was
don't
gonna
know if he
say,
did Poltergeist, but that's what I think this movie would
or
become.
did he produce it? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, a few screen directors know how to
Yes.
build tension the way Spielberg does.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
and he can build tension without grossing you out.
Yes, which that is a talent in and of itself. You know what? I don't think Tarantino would be capable of making a PG movie. I don't think so.
So he got signed on. I mean, like they signed the paperwork for him to direct Star Trek 4.
Yes, I heard about that.
I don't see how that's a PG-13. I mean, Star Trek is famous, infamous, however you want to put it, for being a little
PG, maybe PG-13,
maybe,
maybe.
and certainly, even their violence, when it's really violent, is a violence against, say, a robot or an android or a Borg who's mostly an android or whatever.
Yeah, and it's laser beam shot, like sparks flying type
Right.
thing. It's not blood. It's not guts. It's
I
not.
don't I don't think Tarantino could have done. I mean, it was. I love Tarantino. I love the way his movies come out. I don't love him as a person, but I love the way his movies come out. But I don't know. I don't. I can't see him actually doing Star Trek. To me, that's as much as a silly send up as Spielberg doing The Exorcist.
By the way, guys, shout out to the NorCal Short Film Festival. I was recently a judge at the film festival. It was a lot of fun. We went over the weekend and I vlogged some of it, and that vlog will come out tomorrow. So be on the lookout tomorrow night. I will post it and you will see the time I had as a judge at the NorCal Short Film Festival. It was their
Cool.
first, it was their first one. Next year, they're going to have features. So it won't just be short films, it'll be feature films as well. But they had 70 features, I believe, on three
Well,
different screens that they screened over a span
we,
of 2 days.
we
So
know how you feel about short films. Did you come across something that you felt like maybe
well, yeah, let me
saved some-
clarify my stance about short films. Short films are meant to be practice, right? They're meant to
Okay.
be practice. It's and to go towards feature films, right?
Right.
There's people that I know that are in their that have been doing this for 30, 40 years and they continue to make short films. It's kind of like if you were to go it would be like if you went to school and you never graduated 5th grade and you just kept going to 5th
Oh,
grade over and over
we
again.
all know the guy who's been in college since 1987.
Yeah, exactly. Well, enough about me, Tom. Come on, enough about me. Let's talk about other people. But yeah, or the people that are in high school, or the guy. Oh
Huh.
man, if only I made state, or Uncle Rico types. But it is and then the thing, the problem is that they continue to make these short films, and then they're shopping around the short films for 3, 4, 5 years. I've seen someone literally shop the same short film for 5 years. It's like, dude, give it a rest. Give it a rest, man. Just make another short film. Short films are meant to be made as practice for features,
Mhm.
right? So you're not betting the whole house on
And
on one
also
thing.
isn't it a little bit of look what I can do with this? Just imagine if you gave me a real budget and a real script, what I could do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, hey guys, I made this in 30 days. There was a really cool documentary filmmaker, Andrew. He made a movie called The Seed That Grows. We talk about that in the vlog. You guys will see it tomorrow. And he made a really good documentary. It's about sustainable farming in Central Valley, California.
Mm-hmm.
A man is growing peppers on his ranch and heirloom tomatoes and everything. And it's a really well produced 20-minute documentary. And it's like, do I want to watch that documentary for an hour and a half? Probably not. I'm sorry,
No,
Andrew. But
but did you learn?
I learned a lot in 20 minutes, and you can tell that story in 20 minutes the
Yeah.
same way. So that's what short films are. And I would love to see him make a feature documentary, and I'm sure he
Haven't
will.
you seen what he can do with 20 minutes about sustainable farming, which I've never heard you mention that, gosh, Tom, I really want to go see a movie about sustainable farming. Yeah, it's just not something that you say very often, at least not to me. So that you learned something and felt like you got something out of it, I think is okay. Let's see what this guy can do.
Yes,
And that's
absolutely.
to me, that's the way I look at short films. Is okay, yeah, practice, but look, if you can't make 20 minutes work, if I get bored and you made a 20-minute short film, this is my problem with short films. I'll say it if you won't.
Yeah,
I, I don't
same.
mind the short films. I mind short films that suck.
Yes,
And
thank you. Thank you. And there are many. And
there are
that's the
many.
problem is
And
20 minutes can feel like that if it's a good movie. I mean, 2.5 hours can feel like that if it's a good
yeah.
movie. But a 5-minute short film can feel like an hour.
Oh,
And
and just be painful the whole time, and you're thinking, why do I even have this on?
yeah, there was one. I'm not gonna say the actual. I forget what the title was, but there was one short film. I went into the wrong category. I went to like the sci-fi category, or the sci-fi horror, and there were these zombies movies in a row. And there was one, and it was they take they had okay. First off, I'm not sure if they had the rights to this music. They start off with a Johnny Cash song, and it's Johnny Cash singing the song. And I'm like, this is a short film with limited budget. Yeah, they're filming on a beautiful ranch, and it was shot decently. And then they also had Black Hole Sun. They also had another song that was really popular. And I'm like, did they get the rights to this
No, of
music?
course not.
Most likely not. Now that's what really bugs me about some short filmmakers is they think that they can get away with it. And then also they think that by putting popular music in their movie that it'll all of a sudden make their movie a lot better. It's what you're doing is you're polishing a turd, my friends. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing. So that's it. Anyway, okay, but go back. But that being said, there were a lot of really cool ones. There was one that was a Ukrainian animated documentary, which I didn't even know that was a thing, but it was mind blowing. And it was all subtitled, but the animations, it was all black and white, but the animation was really cool, really stylized, and it's a true story about a girl and her boyfriend living with his parents when the war started a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And they're like a 10-day span, and it's really interesting, and it shows her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions throughout that whole time. You could tell it's real. You feel really real. So that was a really
That's
incredible
cool. Yeah.
documentary.
So I'm glad you got to see some cool stuff, but I got to ask you, as a director, when you're sitting there and like, okay, let's back up to Simp. All right, you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I've got today laid out. Here's what I'm going to do. What kind of director is popping into your head, making you think, if I can make this look like so and so, I'll feel good about today. And I'm not saying you imitate. I'm saying you've learned from this person, not because they taught you, but because watching their movies kind of went, I should do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, before Simp, and especially the director of photography has a lot to say with that too. But before that, I go through a bunch of different movies that I like, and I like how they're shot. So I'll take screen grabs of different movies that I like, and tonally, we had a handful of movies that I'm trying to think it's hard for me to think of what I had. I have a whole visual reference. Maybe that could be for another episode, but I could share the whole visual references that we had for Simp, and for Rideshare we did the same thing. And I'm actually building the visual references as we speak for my next movie, which we're going to be filming next month, which is crazy. Basically, I'm filming another feature film next month, and I have a 4-month deadline to finish it, which is absolutely insane.
Insane.
It is absolutely insane. So part of the reason why I'm so swamped, but it feels good talking about movies, and it gets me going. But okay, so let's go into the list. We might be going a little bit over the hour. If you're okay on time.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
If you're okay. So Tom, so you asked me the question. Let me bring up my list here. I'm not going to share it yet, but you asked me who are the 5 most influential directors on my career, in my life, right? Okay. So I did honorable mentions, and then I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5 honorable mentions, and then I have 5 that are 1,000% influenced.
Well, I figured it would be a difficult task for you in one sense, in that only 5,
right?
As a movie buff, only 5.
Yeah.
Come on,
So,
but
so
I had to narrow it down someplace because it's only an hour-long program.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But so the honorable mentions, okay. Number 5 for honorable mention is Frank Oz, because of 2 movies.
Oh, yeah.
Because of 2 movies, Bowfinger and The Stepford Wives. Those 2 movies. Bowfinger, I can relate to that. Have you seen Bowfinger? Steve Martin, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
So funny. I relate to that so much. He's the director. He's a bit of a swindler. He's trying to you're trying to get, he's trying to make his movie, and he's kind of making his movies bigger than what it is, and it ends up being bigger than what it is. And that's kind of every director can relate to that a lot. And there's a lot of funny humor in where he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get the best darn crew we ever can," and then they go to the border and grab people, like the first people they find to run in the van, and then they become the crew. And then by the end, they're the film aficionados at the end. But Stepford Wives, I really like because I like the Twilight Zone type episodes. I like movies about suburbia where everything's nice up front, but behind closed doors, things are different. So yeah.
You're hitting on somebody that I feel like sometime soon, maybe in the next couple of episodes, we need to do the most underrated directors of all time. And I would
Yes.
definitely put Frank Oz on that list as somebody who's, most people just Sesame Street or,
Yeah,
something like
Yoda. Yeah, right.
they don't really understand what he's done in the world of movies, and his fingerprints are all over so many things, not just the movies he actually directed, but just you go out to Hollywood and you say to people, how has Frank Oz influenced you as a person?
Mhm.
And there are few people that are as admired and respected in Hollywood as he is. And yet, I'll bet you, I mean, the people watching this know who he is,
Yeah.
but the average man, if I went and asked my wife who's Frank Oz, she would say, "Is he that guy at church?" And I would, "No."
Exactly. Yeah, right. Who's Frank Oz? They don't know, but everyone would know Yoda, right? Everyone would know Yoda, but
Everybody would
no,
know Kermit, or
in Kermit,
whatever,
of
yeah,
course. Yeah.
or
Okay.
whatever.
Did he do Kermit or I think
No,
that was Jim Henson.
that
Okay,
was
no.
Jim Henson originally.
Okay. Anyway, all right, we'll get it right. All right, so that was number 5. Number 4, and we're just in the honorable mention space.
Right,
Real
right, right.
quick, I'll say Mike Judge because Office Space is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Hilarious film. I want to make a movie like that at some point in my life that is a work related humor or characters that are living in this
It
the
it it,
crappy job.
it's almost. I was watching a behind the scenes thing on the making of that and how it all came together. It was probably 40 minutes long. It was, good. It wasn't just a
Mhm.
short or something. Oh my gosh. Putting that, I mean, that movie is remarkable. And it just
Yeah.
gets better with time.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Better with time, beginning start to finish. Yeah, it's a classic.
It is.
Okay. Okay, next one is got to give a shout out to Todd Phillips for 5 movies. Old School, Joker 1 and 2. My controversial opinion is I think Joker 2 is a masterpiece. A lot of people hated Joker 2. I thought it was a masterpiece. He also made a movie called War Dogs, which
Mhm.
Miles Teller and Jonah Hill
Mhm.
are based on a true story. They become contractors for the government and
Right.
weapons contractors for the government, which is crazy. And then the movie Road Trip, Tom Green, Breckenmeyer, all those, like that's a fun raunchy kind of comedy that I grew up with. Especially Road Trip and Old School are two really funny comedies, like college coming of age type
Yeah,
comedies.
he's not my cup of tea, but I I understand why he would be on your list.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now so these next two names, a lot of people would have number 1 for their true list, and I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about the ones that mostly influenced me, and these are
Right, right.
definitely honorable mentions, but uh, not uh, not the ones that most influenced me. Martin Scorsese
Sure.
for The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street. I love his theme of the what is it called, the anti-hero.
Mhm.
Like he is incredible at the whole anti-hero theme. You're rooting for these guys, but they're terrible people. Like
Right,
Jordan Belfort was not a good person. He was
right.
not objectively not a moral person, not a but it's entertaining as all heck, and you want to see that. And you want to see that. Next one, of course, Goodfellas, Casino, Aviator, probably more Aviator and Wolf of Wall Street. Aviator is a really good biopic,
Mhm.
and Leo DiCaprio and that's a really fantastic movie. And then, of course, I have to shout out my boy Nicolas Cage, starring in Bringing Out the Dead, directed by Martin Scorsese. Have you seen that one?
He's he drives a hearse at night. Is that
Close. Ambulance. He's a
an ambulance at night?
yeah. He
Okay,
drives an ambulance at
yeah,
night, and
I've
yeah,
seen it, but I mean, it's been, gosh, at least 15 years,
yeah, yeah. It's
at
been
least since I've
yeah.
seen it.
Okay, and then my number one honorable mention, which is maybe if you want to say number six, I don't know. Number one honorable mention that I have to put on this list, but he can't make it to my top 5 just because. And it's George Lucas. Okay.
Okay.
For Star Wars and American Graffiti. And I hate to say it, his Star Wars episodes 1 through 3 are
Mhm.
probably more influential than episodes 4 through 6. At
Okay.
least when it comes to me. I think mainly because of digital, he's all about digital, and I'm all about digital and
Yeah.
everything. Okay. All right, now let's go to the real list. The
Real
real list,
list.
the
Okay.
real list, the top
Number
5. Yeah. These are the most influential directors that I've been influenced in my life. Number 5, Alan said it a little bit earlier, Stanley Kubrick. Okay, Stanley
Yes.
Kubrick for 4 movies, 3.5 movies, literally
Okay.
3.5 movies. Okay, and it'll make sense once I explain it. The Shining, of course, probably the most influential movie that he made. I just love that movie. 2001: A Space Odyssey, great film. Eyes Wide Shut, I love that movie, and I really like, again, like the whole secret government, the things appearing to be nice up front, but they're sinister behind closed doors. I love that. It's really creepy, really eerie. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise are great in that. And then the half of it is Full Metal Jacket, the first hour of that movie. Because I see Full Metal Jacket as
It's two movies. It is
It's
two
two
movies.
movies. Thank you. Yeah, the first movie, and then the second movie, I've tried watching it several times, and I am glued to the first part of that movie. And then this has happened every single time I watch it. The second half, I completely lose interest, and I don't.
Really? I liked it all the way through, and I think he did an amazing job in that. So a little while ago, you were talking about the beginning and the end and keeping that middle moving. And what I've seen about Kubrick is he'll let you wane just a little bit, okay? Just a little
Mhm.
bit. And you'll start thinking, where's this going? A lot of people can't make it through 2001: Space Odyssey,
True.
okay?
Well, when I was a kid, I couldn't. When I was a
But
teenager, I
but
tried and I couldn't. Right.
what you don't get with Kubrick, what you don't understand with him necessarily at first, is at any moment he is going to rock your world. He's going to shock you in a way that you never saw coming,
Yeah,
and he'll
that's
do
true.
it. And so he'll let it wane, and let you kind of sit back, and you're starting to think, where's he going with? And then all of a sudden, the thing happens.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. We find out that Gomer Pyle is not okay in the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what Kubrick does maybe better than anybody, is he plays with your emotions, and you think you got an idea where this is going to go, and he makes a left-hand turn you never saw coming. That's what I
Yeah.
liked about him as a director, is the, and then boom, it happens, and then all of a sudden Boots Are Made for Walking playing, and it's like, what the hell just happened?
Right. Yeah. Well, and that is the thing. That's why he is masterful with
Yeah,
his craft.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And The Shining, I could watch so many times. I
Again,
just love that movie.
there's a point in the movie. Okay, we get past the beginning, and Scatman Crothers has left, and like nothing's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, well, what are we doing?
Right.
We're going to sit here and just look at this place for the next hour and a half. What are we doing?
Right.
And then I forget the first thing he did. I think it was the twins or something that it's like, what was that? And now you're starting to lean forward. What's he doing? And then all hell starts breaking loose. But again, he makes you think, that
Yes.
it's
What?
going to be one thing and it turns into something completely different.
Yes, very true. I'm trying to find the photo. I'll save it for another day. But one of my highlights of my life in LA was when I went to see The Shining at the Arrow Theater, and the man who plays the bartender, Lloyd, or not, is it Lloyd? Yeah, Lloyd, the bartender, was there. He was like 90 something,
Wow.
and that was cool. And I got a picture with him, and I love that scene, Mr. Turin, and then of course Delbert Grady, those two characters, Lloyd the bartender, and then Delbert Grady. I mean, did you know there's another party coming in to this situation? Like just
Yeah.
it just, yeah, so and tonally, I really try, especially with more suspense, I try to replicate some of that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So number 4, I know
Okay.
I hate to say this, is more influential than Stanley Kubrick to me, and I gotta admit it. I
Mhm.
gotta call it. Is M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan with Sixth Sense, especially the Sixth
Yeah.
Sense, the Sixth Sense,
Yeah, we
Signs.
we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Loving, he needs a new trick
Yes. Yes.
because his trick is a trick about being tricky. What would be great is I don't know if he could do it. M. Night Shyamalan does a romantic comedy
Mm.
that works.
Well,
That
you know what he did?
changed everything.
Funnily enough, you said that it wasn't a romantic comedy, but it was completely different than what he normally does. But he wrote Stuart Little about the little
Did he?
mouse. Yeah,
Did he
so
really?
he wrote. Yeah, that was
I
one of
didn't
his
know that.
first gigs. He was the
I didn't
writer
know
of
that.
the writer of Stuart Little.
See,
So and
yeah,
that's a great film. And
it was a great film.
and yeah, but okay. Anyway, but because of Sixth Sense, Signs, and this
Mhm.
is me growing up. When I'm 13 years old, I watched Signs or
I
The
love
Sixth
time.
Sense. Sorry, I watched Sixth Sense at 13. Signs was his next one, right? That
Mhm.
was at Signs at 14.
I
Lady in the Water. I'm joking about Lady in the Water, not Lady
yeah,
in the Water. Not That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Now, speaking of worst movies of all time, that was
disappointing.
atrocious,
It was just
atrocious.
the
When
village.
they're reading off a cereal box to try to get clues.
Yeah,
I mean, if you talk about jumping the shark,
yeah.
I mean,
The village was okay, except I was onto it in the first 5 minutes. I knew
same,
where you were going.
same here. I knew it too.
No, it was not a surprise. The only surprise was how he revealed the surprise.
Yes. The true surprise was I I knew, I guess, spoiler alert, guys, for anyone that hasn't seen The Village, just wait 2 minutes and come back. But so The Village, I knew from the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, the adults are making up this story to
Yeah.
make sure that no one leaves there for some reason. I thought that it was just a cult or a village that they wanted to preserve, so they didn't want anyone from the outside world to get, them to get affected by the outside world. I did not predict that they were actually not in the 1800s or whatever it's supposed to be. They were in the, it was present day.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
I didn't predict that because
I had
that
that. I
you
had
had that
yeah,
too. Oh wow,
yeah.
that's
No, I
good.
was just from the because there were a couple of clues that he left in. I can't tell you now, it's been too long. A couple of clues that made me think that the way she said that and the way they're moving, this is not a period piece. There's something else going on here.
Oh.
Not what we think it is.
Well, I could tell that William Hurt, you could tell he's gaslighting his people, right?
Yeah.
You could tell yeah, that was pretty. But again, I liked that movie up until, when the twist, when it went too far, it was far. But still, he is a better than most director. I will still watch an M. Night Shyamalan movie every time it comes out.
Okay.
Split, I love Split. James McAvoy, talk about underrated actors. He
Yeah.
played 19 different characters, I think, in that movie. 19. They were all very different. All right, some are more subtle than others, more smaller roles.
I like McAvoy. I do.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Unbreakable, Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. I'm not a comic book guy, but I really like that, and
I
especially in
was a
terms of
comic book guy. I don't know. Well, we'll have to again.
we can deep dive Shyamalan at some
Tonight,
point.
yeah,
And even I liked Old and Trap, even though Trap wasn't as good. I like the premise of it, and I like the premise of the regular dad being the actual serial killer and being trapped in a quote unquote trapped in an arena. And I do like that he's filmed in Philly. So I'm trying to do a similar thing with instead of Philly, Sacramento.
sure.
So and Philly and Sacramento kind of have a lot more similarities than one might think, especially downtown. But anyway, okay. Number 3. Now, I didn't know this would be on here until I really, really thought about this director.
Okay.
And it is Andrew Niccol. Andrew Niccol, the director of In Time, Lord of War, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Truman Show. Well, he was the writer of The Truman Show, directed by Peter Weir. I was originally going to put Peter Weir on there, but I'm like, the only movie that's in that I'm influenced by is The Truman Show. And that was written by Andrew Niccol. And then all these other movies, In Time, Lord of War, Truman Show, and Gattaca. I like his tone. I like his.
I love Gattaca. I love In Time. You know what? Yeah, it's got a great tone.
Yes, and Truman Show as well. It's just a brilliant movie. So again, speaking of underrated directors, he's probably more of a not a pick that a lot of people would pick, but I'm talking about myself and tonally and movies that influence me and all that. Okay, so number 2, I got it. Okay, number 2. Now, number 2 is well ahead of number 3, but he's also way behind number 1.
Okay.
Okay. He's in a league of his own, obviously. And we were talking about this movie earlier. It's a man by the name of Steven Spielberg, who directed Jurassic Park, Jaws. Jaws is probably more influential than Jurassic Park on me. I love Catch Me If You Can, Indiana Jones, of course, but the number 1 movie that Spielberg made that influences me the most is Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yes, and that's actually my favorite movie of all time, Minority Report.
Really?
So yeah, I've seen it so many times. I love the whole idea, the philosophy behind it, the suspense, the thrills, the chills, the humor in it. I mean, it has everything. Minority Report, Steven Spielberg is my number 2 director, and he is way ahead of Andrew Niccol. And then Shyamalan is like right behind Niccol, probably, and then Kubrick's right there with this. So, are you ready for the number 1? Who is ready?
I don't have a drum roll I can hit here.
Come on.
Of everything.
Give us a drum roll, please. If you guys are watching this, I don't know, put drum emojis and do something.
Yeah.
Say what's up. Or not. Or we could do... Okay.
All right.
You got something?
No.
Okay.
Go for it.
The number 1 most influential director in my life and career by far, and it's not even close. Not even remotely close. And Steven Spielberg's number 2, and it's still not even close. Number 1 is, speaking of suspense, it's the master of suspense himself, Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Of course. Number 1. And all of these movies, like all of these, like for all these other directors, I'm like, okay, there's about 4 or 5 movies that really influence me. But with this director, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 12.
Do you have a favorite Hitchcock?
Of course I do.
Which is,
I will tell you in a minute.
Okay.
And
wait, I'm going to write down what I think you're going to say.
Okay, write it down. But I'm going to build up to it. it. And actually this is tough because it could change. It changes sometimes because some years it's this movie, other years it's the other movie.
Okay.
Okay. I'll start with number 12. We'll start with number 12, and that's a movie called I Confess. It's Cliff Montgomery plays a priest, and a man confesses to a murder at the beginning, and the priest has to stand on trial to kind of rat out. And of course, priests can't do that; they cannot rat people
Right.
out. But what would happen if a priest was standing on trial? Love it. I Confess. Number 11, Shadow of a Doubt, which is Alfred Hitchcock's himself's favorite movie that he directed himself. The one number 10 is The Man Who Knew Too Much. I grew up on that movie. That was one of the first movies I ever saw. So was The Lady Vanishes. That was one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. Eerie. The lady that vanishes is very creepy. Or the people that are around are very eerie, very creepy. Lifeboat is up there because it's one location. You're on a lifeboat. People are stranded. A bunch of different characters. Hitchcock still makes his cameo because he's in a weight loss ad in a newspaper. His photo is there. So he had to get creative with his cameo. Strangers on a Train, of course. And another one is Rope.
That's what I.
Is that what you were going to say? Oh, Rope. Okay. Well, you were technically right. I mean, and again,
I thought that would be your number one. I really
nice.
did.
Well, that's a good.
Because,
That was
seriously, Rope is one of those film school. You must watch this and understand what he did here to make the movie. I mean, long before 1917, we had a movie that appeared to be one shot.
Yes.
And Rope is it. And what he did, I mean, it's just, and you talk about building suspense.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, in the movie Rope, there's no blood.
No.
There's no cussing. There's no screaming. There's no bomb.
No sex. No.
No. And yet you're on pins and needles the entire movie.
Yes.
What does Jamie Stewart know, and when did he figure it out? I mean, it's you're right. It's a masterpiece. Well, keep going. I'm going to see what you do for your number one.
Okay. And of course, now these three, I have to switch. Now these top, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These top 5, probably at any given time, could still, any one of these could be my number one.
Okay.
Right.
That's fair.
And so this one, I'm just gonna put number 5, but it could also be number 1 because it is also one of my favorite ones, and I think it was the first one I ever saw of Alfred Hitchcock. No, you're very close. You're one off, actually, but it's the 39 Steps.
Okay.
The 39 Steps. I really like that movie. It's really creepy at the beginning more than it is the rest of the film, but yeah, really suspenseful. Okay, number 4, The Birds. The Birds. And again, sometimes I saw The Birds at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery screenings. They do screenings there, and it's incredible. It's packed. There's like a couple thousand people that go. They had pictures and maybe I can pull this up real quick. I think my Google can figure that out. Hollywood Forever Cemetery, because it was such a great time, and it actually wasn't as creepy watching a movie in a cemetery as I thought, which you think it would be creepy. I mean, it was definitely eerie, right? It was definitely eerie, but I think maybe because there were so many people that it wasn't as okay. Let me see. We have a shot of me there. Oh, and it was in 2016, right when Gene Wilder passed away.
Oh.
And I know that because I got a picture of the screen. Let me see. Let me show you guys real quick. So, yeah, that was the... Yeah, that was the screen. Let me see. That's me. Hold on for a second. Let me make sure I get it right. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, no. Well, it's me in front of Okay, you're gonna have to guess who this actor is.
Okay.
One of the greatest entertainers the world has ever known. Hollywood will always be his home. September 23rd, 1920 to April 6th, 2014.
20 to 14. Greatest Hollywood.
One of the greatest entertainers the world has ever known. Okay, now here I'll show you this. This is the picture. Now you can kind of tell by the photo who it is if you look closely. I don't know if you can how big it is for you.
Not wearing my glasses.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I don't have my birds photo, but anyway, that was a great experience. I'll try to dig that up later. Okay, now number 3, and again, these top 3, especially these 3, could be interchanged at any time. Okay, number 3, Rear Window. I absolutely love Rear Window. I love that movie. I love Jimmy Stewart, Grace Kelly, classic.
Grace Kelly. I watched that movie sometime in the last 4 or 5 years, and it was during the pandemic. Okay,
Yeah.
And I was looking at Grace Kelly, and I'm thinking, it is possible she is the most beautiful woman in the history of the world.
Yes, absolutely. I'm with you 1,000%. Inside and out.
She is perfect. I mean, her face, her structure, her skin, she's perfect and doesn't appear to try.
Right.
And she walked away from Hollywood like that. Yes,
and became a princess.
Right. I understand.
So
but still,
Princess of Monaco, which is the most amazing, elaborate place, and there's kind of a deep, dark underbelly there too. But but she is perfect in her the way she carried herself. She was also highly intelligent. She was not some bimbo. She wasn't, she wasn't this, lusty sex icon, but she's just this epitome of beauty and grace, and her name is Grace Kelly. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Oh, real quick. The movie one of the short films that was at the NorCal Short Film Festival was Sherlock Holmes and the True Believer. My friend Donna Wilberg, shout out to Donna Wilberg, and my other friend Liam Irish were in this movie. Donna directed it, and they filmed it at a rail yard, and one of the trains that they have up here, the rail yard or the railroad station in Sacramento or Jackson, I don't know. It's in the greater Sacramento area. They have a train car that Grace Kelly sat in one of their movies, in one of her movies, and I guess the director of photography brought his wife to do test shots, and he's like, "Can you sit? You sit in that chair right there." She's like, "Why?" She's like, "Just sit there." And I'm like, "Okay, now sit." And then he got a picture, and then he's like, "Now sit in this chair.
Yeah.
Now sit in this chair."
I would do that too.
And he goes, she's like, "Why?" Okay, he's like, "Just do it." And she sat in the chair. He's like, "Well, judging by what I saw in that movie, Grace Kelly sat either in that chair or that chair. So you sat where Grace Kelly sat."
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're also another beautiful Hollywood starlet is in both these two movies coming up. Number 2, and of course, number 2 can be number 1. Number 1 could be number 2. Number 2 is Vertigo.
Okay.
Vertigo, and another Jimmy Stewart movie directed by Hitchcock. And I love that movie. It's also haunting because I grew up, going to San Francisco, and that probably because of this movie that it will always haunt me, the city of San Francisco, and also just the thought of people jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge is not. Kim Novak. I thought Kim Novak was gorgeous, but then unfortunately, she got a ton of plastic surgery and she does not look recognizable anymore, which is very sad.
I was going to say you haven't seen her recently.
Yeah, she's very, very
One
sad.
one of those cat women looking.
Yeah, it's really sad, and that's tough when you get all this plastic. I don't know. Anyway, that's another discussion.
Another
But
discussion.
Vertigo is, I think, is a masterpiece. It's regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time. But number one, I'm gonna give it to the number one movie, which you probably guessed that you haven't heard it yet. Can you guess what it is?
Psycho.
Yes, 100. Yep, Psycho. And I gotta give it to Psycho because it, from start to finish, it's a fantastic film.
Again, suspense all the way. Yeah, okay, we had a somewhat bloody shower scene, but again, if you go back and really look at that movie, and people quit taking showers.
I know, including the lead actress.
People, there were some people who never took a shower again because of that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and yet you go back and you look at it right now. You know, it's suspenseful. It's not bloody. It's not Quentin Tarantino.
Right. And that's the thing, is like, how can you scare people and shock people without doing that? Without showing the gun and the bullets and the blood and without the violence or the sex or the cursing or the, you know.
So I assume you saw the Psycho remake.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So that is the Hollywood, and talk about parodies. That is, we have to put the cussing and
do you hear my sighing?
The self-sex, you know, you know, you have to, they throw in the stuff and it's like, you're proving what's wrong with Hollywood by making this movie.
Yes. Yes.
You're proving it.
Absolutely. Yes. And he was too on the nose right away. He was too weird, too off right away. Vince Vaughn, poor Vince Vaughn. I love Vince Vaughn, but he was horribly miscast.
Well, the whole movie was miscast. The
yeah.
whole
and what's her name?
Yeah.
Who's really sad.
And
Hayhoe, who sadly passed away.
Yeah, and
she was. Yeah, she was horribly miscast.
Well, and there's no chemistry between. I mean, one of the things that made Psycho work was this weird thing between Perkins and what's her name. I mean, just weird.
Yeah, weird dynamic.
Do they like each other? Do they hate each other? Are they instant frenemies? You know, and just the way they worked together was really cool. You can't really. I don't even know how Hitchcock could direct that. I mean, the director does a lot, but if the actors don't bring it,
to be honest,
they brought it.
To be honest, it's more of the casting than the director at that point. And he said that, right? Well, you first need he said you need three things to make a good movie. You need a great script, and a great script. But he also said if you cast the right people, most of your job is done, essentially, as a director. But you cast the right people. And Perkins, the reason why that character works is Perkins is actually charming. You know, he's handsome, he's charming, he doesn't seem like a weirdo creep right off the bat, except for all of the a little weird. Yeah, the taxidermied animals, right? But
there was an innocence about his taxidermy and his animals, and one that she appreciated. She wasn't, oh my gosh, you know. She was like, oh, okay, you know, it's kind of sweet but weird, but okay. I'm okay with weird. I'm weird, you know.
Yeah. And she's hiding out. She wants to be on his good side, right? Because heaven forbid if someone comes in and if he rats her out, she's done for, right?
Was she just being self-serving? See, I'm saying that there was actually some emotion there that, I don't want to say pity. She didn't pity him, but she found him an interesting person in her life at that particular moment. Yes. It wasn't just, I'm hiding out and I don't want to get on his bad side. It was also there was some kind of affection, and that's what I like about it is we could have another 1 hour conversation about those kinds of relationships that Hitchcock built better than anybody between characters, and not not just talking male female. Go back to Rope for a second.
Yes.
The dynamic between the three major players.
Mm-hmm. And the two, especially for that carry most of the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
Those two, right? And their pompous nature, or they're very smart, but they think they're better than other people, which is really interesting concept. And then there were other undertones, like maybe those guys were dating. They said maybe, right? But they didn't say it. They never said that openly in that movie. And
Well, it would have been banned.
it would have been completely banned, right? But there's those undertones, those subtlety. Like, this is why the subtlety works a lot more, is a lot more effective, and it's a lot tougher to do because it's easy to just say something or to show something graphic or to say something obtuse, but it's harder to build that suspense. Give the audience some information. And I tried to, I did my best with Simp, with replicating the male female dynamic of him. He's a bad guy, and she's a beautiful girl, but
No, I think you did great on that. Yeah, I told you that
yeah,
that the way those two interacted, I hadn't thought about it to this moment, but yeah, very Hitchcockian.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, and that is the highest compliment. And of course, yes, I'm not, I'm one of millions of other directors in this world that are influenced by Hitchcock the most, probably. But yeah, for me, I mean, those movies and having the suspense, the humor, the intrigue, the acting, that's what I strive to do. And also, he's really prolific. 52 movies. I mean, that's amazing. That's very
Did you
much.
ever get a chance to see the Alfred Hitchcock Hour?
Yes, I've seen a few of them.
They were in repeats when I started watching TV. It's one of the first, that and Star Trek are like the first shows that I remember watching as a kid, which explains a lot about me. But
yes, it all makes sense now.
yeah. But I mean, even then, and a lot of that stuff was geared for kids. Okay. But again, it wasn't, you didn't have to twist your head around and vomit pea soup to make it scary and interesting.
Right. Exactly.
His album, one of the first albums I ever bought with my own money, is horrifying. It's great. And it's never vulgar or whatever. You're sitting in a dark room. There's nobody around you. And yet, you feel him. He's getting closer.
Ooh.
Closer. And I mean, if you're sitting in a dark room listening to this, it's like, okay, I know this is just, I know, and there's nobody in here, but he convinces you, and it's not his voice, it's another guy, but just, there's a reason he's got all of the accolades and everything in the world of cinema.
Yeah, and also just from watching all the interviews, and something that influences me a lot is his philosophy, where he'd always say this. He'd always say, "It's only a movie." Right? It's only a movie, right? This isn't rocket science. This isn't brain surgery. It isn't life or death. Guys, we're making movies. So that pressure, and then how prolific he was, that pressure gets taken off when you start thinking like, okay, this is just a movie, right? It's just a movie. I'm going to try my best to make it the best it could be. Is it going to be my best movie? I'm going to try to make it the best one I've made so far. But, right, you have to work and do your best you can. And then you move on to the next one and you make 50 more. So it's yeah. So ultimately, because he's so prolific, because he made so many interesting movies, suspenseful movies, and funny movies, and also he went to an all boys Jesuit high school. I went to an all boys Jesuit high school. There's a lot of connections. I've got the Catholic guilt. He's got the Catholic guilt. I'm terrified of being pulled over by police, even though I have before for speeding tickets. He didn't drive because he was so terrified of police. Have you heard that story? His
Yeah,
mom.
I've heard a lot of stories, and there's a lot of speculation about his relationships with actresses, and he's now in retrospect kind of looked at as a lurch or maybe a stalker and that kind of stuff. I don't I don't put credence in it because I don't want to. I don't know
Right.
what he was really like. I can
Right.
tell you, what he did was masterful.
Yeah.
Um, and I fully applaud your choice as him being your number one guy, and I get it. I see it now much more in rideshare and simp, and I can see his influence on you, and I understand why he's there, and I look forward to your next movie that I'm sure will also have that. I mean, finding that tone, it's hard.
It's tough.
You know,
It's really tough.
for,
Yeah.
when he died in the 70s, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
okay,
78, I believe.
okay. So people have been trying, well, before that, to be like Alfred Hitchcock for 50 years
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
and very, very, very few. Brian De Palma loved Hitchcock. That's why he
Oh
made the
yeah.
Rear Window send up the awful movie. I mean, compared to Rear Window.
Oh, with Christopher Reeve.
Um, no, it was
They did that. They did a
yeah,
TV movie that was Rear Window with
yeah,
Christopher Reeve, and it actually worked. It worked pretty well, and it was after he had already gotten his condition
yeah.
or his accident. But
Yes, I remember that now. Yeah.
yeah, so it was actually I was surprised and I wasn't disappointed. Maybe I had really low expectations. I guess I was 1980 is when he died. Born in 1899.
Wow.
Crazy. That was crazy. He still lived 81 years and he was not the specimen of good health.
No, but
you know.
well,
But but and he's English, by the way. I'm half English, but not saying that I'm anything like. I mean, there's only one Hitchcock, and he's
yeah,
he's
yeah. He's already got
yeah.
that job. But hey, there's only one Tremaine Hayhoe, and he's going to be back on Wednesday night
That's
with
true.
another
Yes,
movie night, and of course, we'll be back together next Monday with another great set of things to talk about. And it's been great. It's been a very interesting evening talking about movies. Love talking about movies. I love talking about movies with you and our great people who stick with us even when we don't keep up to our own time schedule. We appreciate you guys.
yeah.
And
This one needed because this was kind of like two episodes in one. But you know what? It
uh,
was a very good thing. Real quick, interesting. Star Wars directed by Steven Spielberg. Man, I wish that would happen. I just wish that would happen. That would be incredible. I think I just wish it would happen because, especially after Last Jedi, that the botched job that J.J. Abrams and then what's his name?
I don't.
Ryan Johnson. I blocked that guy's name out of my memory bank
eh,
because it was
Well,
so
and
bad.
it was bad, and we ought to talk about it sometime. I thought the number one problem with that movie was Mark Hamill.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I found him to be he had no character growth between the first watch the very first Star Wars, watch that one, and the character did not grow at all. He's still a
Well,
whining, sniveling.
and yeah, and neither did Han Solo from the one before that. And neither did none of them. I mean, Leia, I guess, grew, but
You know,
I mean, literally, physically. But the I'm sorry, but but I mean, was that Mark Hamill or was it Luke Skywalker, the character that Rian Johnson.
I don't know, but I mean, I didn't like it, and I didn't.
I think it was the character that Rian Johnson wrote, because Hamill has been on record saying, I fundamentally disagree with everything about this character. Like, he fundamentally disagreed with everything with the
He's such a whiner. I mean,
He
really,
is. Oh, yeah.
Luke Skywalker.
But they made him a complete whiner again, and then they made him a hermit and a coward as well. They made him a complete coward. Yeah. So,
and you know, and sitting in his remorseful, guilt-ridden,
woe is me,
living with talking penguins or whatever they were supposed to be, and
blue milk. I can't. The blue milk. As soon as he chucked the lightsaber over his shoulder, I'm like, this is the worst. This is so. That was the worst thing you could ever have that character ever do in anything of the series. That is the worst thing that you could do, and he's setting the tone with that. You build up this hype that it's a lightsaber, and then he takes it and chucks it. Like, oh, I'm subverting expectations. Okay, and anyway, I could rant on for hours about how terrible that Last Jedi is, but you know what isn't terrible? Hitting that like button. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And check out Tom Kelly. I will leave his channel at the end and in the description.
Kelly Cast. K-E-L-L-E-Y Casts.
That's right. YouTube.com/Kelly Casts. Kelly, K-E-L-L-E-Y. And this is Hayhoe Studios. Guys, thank you so much for everything. If you guys want to really support us, go to patreon.com/Hayhoe Studios. We have 2 paid supporters so far. Yes, we got 2, which is more than 1 that we had 2 months ago. So with every little bit we put into content. Thank you all for supporting. And we'll see you on Wednesday. We've got Victoria Vertuga, who is an actress and director. She's a very nice actress, and she will be on live on March 4th. That is Wednesday at 7 p.m. So we will see you then. Thank you, guys. Terrain Hayhoe, Tom Kelly, signing out.
Like and subscribe, it's movie night.